Impact and New Japan headline a busy weekend. I'm Mack Carlins, and this is Just Pro Wrestling News for Saturday, September 18th, 2021. A big welcome to those of you listening on WrestleMap.com. You can bring our updates to your website. Find out how at JustProWrestlingNews.com.
Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling has a big show this weekend. It's VictoryRoad, an Impact Plus exclusive, coming up on Saturday night. Christian Cage defends the Impact World title against Ace Austin in the main event. Josh Alexander defends the X Division title against Chris Sabin. The Good Brothers put the Impact Tag titles on the line against Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Tasha Steelz and Samantha Evans challenge Decay's Rosemary and Havok for the Knockouts Tag titles. Matt Cardona versus Rohit Raju will meet in a no disqualification match. Plus, Moose and W. Morrissey versus Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards. Bullet Club's Chris Bay and Hikuleo versus FinJuice. Steve Maclin versus TJP versus Petey Williams. And Tenille Dashwood versus Taylor Wilde. PW Insider and other outlets are reporting that Impact has suspended Tommy Dreamer following his comments during the Plane Ride from Hell episode of Vice TV's Dark Side of the Ring. PW Insider also reported that CarShield has paused its ad campaign featuring Ric Flair in the wake of that episode's airing.
WWE.
We have a new match added to WWE's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Morgan and Toni Storm beat Carmella and Zelina Vega via countout on last night's SmackDown after Morgan smashed Mella's face into the middle turnbuckle. Also last night, WWE Champion Big E and Finn Balor beat the SmackDown Tag Champs, the Usos, in a non-title match. Sami Zayn beat Dominic Mysterio, and Rick Boogs pinned Robert Roode. King Nakamura will defend the Intercontinental Championship on next Friday's SmackDown against Apollo Crews. A couple big matches are announced for Monday's Raw. Natalya and Tamina will defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship against Rhea Ripley and Nikki A.S.H. Plus, Universal Champion Roman Reigns and the Usos will be on Raw to take on WWE Champion Big E and the rest of the New Day.
AEW.
On Friday night's Rampage, Miro beat Fuego del Sol to not only retain the TNT Championship, but also take Fuego's new car. Miro went for a post-match beatdown on Fuego, but Sammy Guevara ran out to make the save. The Lucha Brothers beat the Butcher and the Blade to retain the AEW Tag Team titles. Private Party and Jack Evans joined in for a post-match attack, but Santana and Ortiz ran out to make the save. And just like that, we have another new match announced for next Friday's Rampage from Arthur Ashe Stadium. The Lucha Brothers and Santana and Ortiz teaming up against Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. Also now announced for next Friday's Rampage, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki in a lights out match, and Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. Anna Jay used a roll-up to pin the Bunny on Friday's Rampage. After the match, Penelope Ford, armed with a pair of brass knuckles, knocked out both Jay and Ty Conti.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
New Japan's G1 Climax 31 tournament is getting underway this weekend with A-block matches on Saturday. Action in the B block begins on Sunday, with the big match being Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada, plus Hiroki Goto versus Taichi, Sonata versus Tama Tonga, Jeff Cobb versus Chase Owens, and Yoshihashi versus Evil. Again, those are Sunday's matches. New Japan Strong is in its new time slot this weekend on Saturday night with some big names on the show. Hiroshi Tanahashi teaming with Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors against Bateman, Mysterioso, and Barrett Brown, plus Tomohiro Ishii versus Alex Coughlin, and Juice Robinson versus Hikuleo in a tables match. Major League Wrestling will get a 1-hour special on Vice TV coming up on October 7th. That will feature the title versus title match between MLW World Champ Jacob Fatu and National Openweight Champion Alex Hammerstone. That match is the main event of MLW's Fightland card in Philadelphia on October 2nd. Also just added to that card, Holodead versus Nicole Savoy. And that's just pro wrestling news for Saturday, September 18th. Be sure to subscribe to this feed so you don't miss our next news update. We also thank you in advance for leaving a glowing rating or review. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.